Freaky Friday is intended for adults and is a show featuring adult conversations. Topics may vary, but are focused on human sexuality, fetish, and topics of intimate nature. Some may feel uncomfortable watching this show, and some topics may take you out of your comfort zone. We encourage everyone to stay and learn, as we hope this is an educational show, but stress that viewer discretion is advised. And if a topic makes you feel uncomfortable, please do not continue watching. Welcome to Freaky Friday. Welcome to Freaky Friday, where we dare to talk about taboo topics like fetish, bondage, sex, vibrators, and more. This isn't your dad's Friday night programming, but your mom loves it. Welcome to Freaky Friday, hosted by Mr. Anderson, who is the unboxable, uncanny advocating creator known as the Indie Comics Devil, who will tempt you with his devilish tales of fetish, monsters, and more. Also the giver of free hugs and spends. Everyone watching this program will get virtual free hugs and spends. It's time to get on with the show. Welcome to Freaky Friday. Music provided by the YouTube Audio Library. Produced by Silent Partner. Song name, Tied Up. Warning and disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this live feed are those of the guests, speakers, and or hosts, and do not necessarily reflect the beliefs, official policies, ethics, or positions of the content providers, advertisers, additional hosts, and or guests, hosting sites, groups, or entities attached to this programming. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello, everybody. Let's get into it right away. It's been a busy week. We're going to be going off, of course, comicbookadvocates.com is also the home to Freaky Friday, as well as comicsunleashed.com. I created all of it. I'm a content creator who loves comic books, but I don't shy away from freaky stuff, or even the fact that we are, we're sometimes looked a certain way. Underground comic advocate for certain. Now, this all started this week's program because I've been watching a lot of the news. Before I get into all that, I want you to know where I stand. Let's start right here. The same people who say, well, it's just the internet, I can act any way I want, don't take it serious, have learned bad behavior that they now exhibit in public. They are the ones freaking out and being filmed. All of your interactions online are with humans, not Siri, Alexa, or Echo, but real human beings. Can't stress this enough. The fact that so many people have begun to act as though we aren't human beings online, it's where the danger begins. So many people just have this idea that we were somehow like avatars and what happens online doesn't count. And it's even sadder because we've seen that tweets have ended people's careers at this point. And it's a dangerous time. Social media has definitely become problematic. And let me tell you, I grew up and watched Be Born, and I'm very disappointed. I'm very disappointed because it had the opportunity for being in the fetish community. It let me connect with people. Being in the comic book community, I was able to connect with people. I can do things with Kickstarter. There's such great things that can go on with social media. And yet, there's this idea that we can also be our worst on social media. And now the problem is it's not just good enough to be your worst you. You take that echo chambered creation of your own. And this is not for everyone. I know this isn't for everyone. I'm talking to the people who are acting like fools and don't treat people like human beings when they're interacting with people online. Everyone I interact with, I treat the same way. When I'm talking to them online, I can come off a little strong. I can come off a little sarcastic. I can definitely come off domineering. Go figure. But I'm always genuine. And if someone says, I don't want to talk about this anymore, I don't push the issue. I show respect to get respect. And I'm blown away. Blown away. And I don't want to just blame companies. We're going to talk about this. I want to put blame on the users. This is a user error as well. Because we treat each other horribly as human beings. It literally hurts my head, even thinking about it. and how dangerous it is. And of course, here we're going to scroll a little bit. You're going to see it right here. Dangerous lug nut prank on social media is not a joke. Towing company says, let me tell you, you mess with lug nuts on a car, that's a crime because you could kill someone, and it should be a crime. Let me tell you, man, I worked on tires for years. I've seen wheel offs. I've had to study wheel offs, and I can't say anything more than that other than to admit that I've studied it. And I will tell you this right now: there is nothing more dangerous than an actual wheel flying off a car on a highway. It might not even hurt the person who's driving. So a lot of times when a wheel comes off, the car grinds to a halt. You might get a couple bruises. It's what the tire does next and where the tire could go. You could be killing people. And this is the stupidity that social media is being done. And we can't blame the apps, the social media. I don't care if it's on TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, WhatsApp, Instagram. I don't care if Netflix has a movie. We have to start holding people accountable. And if it's done online, we have to hold them all accountable the same way. Make an example of all of them. See, that's the problem. These pranks happen, and then we never hear the follow-up because there's not a lot of punishments. Oh, they were just being dumb kids. Nah, man. We got to stop that. They don't know more of this. Oh, they're just being dumb kids. People can get seriously hurt and are getting hurt. And these companies are definitely out of control. But even something like 50 Shades of Grey, that actually caused people to get hurt. People got seriously injured because of 50 Shades of Grey. No kidding. It's actually why I began developing Barbara Unleashed, because there needed to be something that was the answer to all the misinformation, the proving moment of, hey, this is horrible horse. You know what? Don't buy into this. So I created Barbara Unleashed. And you guys know that that actually shows that she thought she knew a lot by just going to the internet. Here's the reality. We need to mix things up. We need to have social media, but we need to treat people like human beings. There's nothing freakier than the fact that you think that you're interacting with people who aren't humans on the other side. Like, what do you think? You're talking to robots? I think people use social media as punching bags now just to be horrible to people. That's what video games are for. You're supposed to go to video games and take out your stress. That's the whole point of video games, ladies and gentlemen. It's not to go online, and then I know people who are like, oh, I have flame accounts. I've never had a flame account. I'm always just been me. And these are now indicators for me. If someone tells me they have a flame account, yeah, I look at them like they're a POS. Because that means you're just going out to hurt human beings because you think it's fun. And I'm literally a sadist. Yeah, I am definitely a sadist. No masochism, but definitely a sadist. So I enjoy it to an extent, but it has to be under the right circumstances and with consent. I just don't go out to hurt people. And that's what I think social media has become. Unconsensual humiliation play. And Jamie Lee Curtis talks about the social media beauty expectations. It's you go to TikTok and you see women actually admitting that they know to get popular, they have to sexualize themselves. And then in a few months, those same women will begin to sexualize themselves a little bit. And they try to walk a line. And there is a conversation to be had. You should be proud of your body. You should be proud of your looks. You should be able to be energetic about who you are. And being beautiful shouldn't be held against you. But there's a fine line. And I see women who know how to be sexual and beautiful at the same point. And then there are women who are sexual and you could tell that daddy issues comes to mind. You can tell that they're not in a good place. What they're doing is the only thing they can. And then there's women who love to be looked at, and men as well. So it's this hard, we're not ready yet to have these conversations. We need to. Because we have to understand not one size fits all. And on social media, we force people into these things. And of course, we learned more about that this week. As the live updates came out, apparently from Washington Post, by the way, I do want to give some credit to some of the sites up here that were giving us some information. That was taken off the first thing we talked about today, that was taken off my Facebook page. The second thing was from KABO, FOR.com. That was about the pranks gone wrong. Cosmopolitan gave us the people were getting hurt because of 50 Shades of Grey. That's from Continuum Comics, my site, what I'm in charge of over at Continuum Comics, so I should say Comics Unleashed. And this was brought to us by the MarySue.com. And this is brought to us by Washington Post. So live updates. This whistleblower, Francis Hagen, testified, and the things that we found out. Social media, Facebook is monetizing our suffering online. They like us fighting. They make money off of us fighting. They make money off of us having quote unquote flame wars. It's everything you would expect an evil conglomerate to be. How do we fix it? We can't fix that. That's for the government. But we can all make an initiative. We can all stop. Because during the pandemic, social media is something that we did find a way to use positively. Yes, there's a lot of negative that came out of that. But there was a human moment where we needed to interact, and people were a lot closer and a lot more open to social media. We need to go back to that. We need to start using it. There needs to be laws about misinformation. If someone is willingly giving misinformation, and you can prove if something's misinformation, you can even prove if they knew better, because there should be a standard to proving something. So this is not as hard as people make it seem. If you made it a finable offense or even arrestable, depending on what happened, it would stop overnight, because again, you can prove this stuff. And if you're profiting from it, I wouldn't go after the person who Facebook shares something. I'm talking about the content provider themselves. I'd like to know what you guys think, but I do know this: no matter what, and I'll do the zoom in for me. The freakiest thing we have in the world right now is the way that we can communicate with each other directly. I can connect with comic book creators throughout the world. I can connect with kinksters throughout the world, and instead of using it for that, people just nasty to each other. We should be able to escape life where people are being nasty and come here and find comfort from like-minded individuals. Instead, our bullies find us. People want to flame war. We as human beings have to make the difference here. If any of this sounds like stuff you do, don't shrug your shoulder. Commit to being better. Commit to actually treating people like human beings. I want you to, from now on, before you comment on someone, go look at their profile picture and see the person. So there's nothing freakier than going out onto social media and acting like none of this matters and you can do whatever you want. That's some Freaky Friday stuff right there. That's it for this week. I will be back next week. Please treat each other. Let's go back to basic, like we said recently. Let's go back to basic. Treat each other basic, and treat each other with the respect that you want. Like I was told growing up, treat people how you want to be treated. And let's all rise up.